Have you ever wondered how a desert city like Dubai got flooded? This was no ordinary rain, but the heaviest rainfall ever recorded in the desert state. Imagine the scene. The normally bustling city brought to a standstill, the city's transport system paralyzed, and banks shuttered. Dubai, known for its skyscrapers and luxurious lifestyle, was suddenly grappling with an unprecedented crisis. The rain didn't just pour, it pounded the city relentlessly, turning roads into rivers and car parks into lakes. This wasn't a scene from a disaster movie, but a harsh reality that the residents of Dubai were facing. The government, recognizing the severity of the situation, issued red warnings, the highest level of alert for extreme weather events. Offices, schools, banks, everything closed down as the city braced itself against the onslaught of Mother Nature. But amidst the havoc, something extraordinary was happening. The community was coming together, showing resilience in the face of adversity. People were helping each other, sharing resources and providing support wherever they could. But the rainfall didn't stop, it continued, causing water and power outages across the city. Residents were resorting to unconventional methods of transportation like surfboards and jet skis to navigate through the flooded streets. The city's airport operations were suspended, leaving travelers stranded, facing difficulties in rebooking flights and contacting customer support. This was a disaster unlike any other, leaving Dubai in a state of chaos and confusion. But it also posed a question. How could a desert city, known for its sweltering heat and sparse rainfall, get flooded? This question would set the stage for an investigation that would reveal some startling truths. But that's a story for another scene. For now, let's just say, when it rained in Dubai, it poured. The aftermath of the flood was devastating, with significant damage to vehicles, buildings, and the city's infrastructure. The Central Bank of the United Arab Emirates stepped in swiftly, directing lenders and insurers to allow a 6-month deferment of loan repayments for flood-affected residents. This was not just about providing immediate relief, but also a strategic move to prevent potential financial fallout without imposing additional fees or interest. Yet, the monetary relief was just one side of the coin. The physical landscape of Dubai was drastically altered. The city's residents were faced with the daunting task of cleanup and recovery. Streets once filled with the hustle and bustle of daily life were now submerged. Homes and businesses were flooded, and the city's infrastructure was severely tested. Insurance policies, often overlooked, suddenly became a lifeline. Residents were encouraged to review their policies and contact the financial ombudsman for assistance with insurance-related issues. It was not just about the damaged property, but also the disruption to daily life, the loss of cherished possessions, and the emotional toll of the disaster. Yet amidst the chaos and devastation, the spirit of the community was stronger than ever. People came together, supporting each other in ways big and small, whether it was sharing resources, helping with cleanups, or simply offering a shoulder to lean on. The people of Dubai showed remarkable resilience and solidarity. The city, once a symbol of modernity and progress, was now grappling with a disaster that seemed almost impossible in a desert. Yet the aftermath of the flood was not just about destruction and despair. It was also a testament to the resilience of people and their capacity to rise above the challenges, no matter how insurmountable they may seem. Now, you might be asking, how did this happen? Was it a natural disaster or a result of human intervention? Let's delve into that. You see, Dubai has been known to use a technique called cloud seeding. This is a form of weather modification where substances are dispersed into the air to encourage rainfall. It's a method often used by countries with arid climates, like the United Arab Emirates, to increase water supply. But could this have played a role in the unprecedented rainfall and subsequent flooding? The answer isn't clear-cut. On one hand, it's possible that the cloud seeding efforts may have led to an overabundance of rain. But on the other hand, some argue that the flooding was less about the amount of rain and more about the city's infrastructure not being equipped to handle such a deluge. Indeed, questions have been raised about the effectiveness of Dubai's sewerage system in the wake of the flood. This brings us to a broader debate. As we continue to grapple with the realities of climate change, we're forced to confront the delicate balance between harnessing and controlling the power of nature. In our efforts to combat drought, are we inadvertently creating conditions for flooding? And as our cities grow and develop, are we adequately preparing for extreme weather events? It's a complex issue with no easy answers, and it's a reminder that our actions, whether it's cloud seeding or city planning, can have unforeseen consequences. But it's also a testament to the power of nature, and a reminder that despite our best efforts, there are some things we can't control. So, was the flooding in Dubai a result of human intervention gone awry, or a natural event that we were ill-equipped to handle? Perhaps it's a bit of both, but one thing's for sure, it's a wake-up call. As we continue to navigate the challenges of climate change, we need to ensure we're not just reacting to disasters, but proactively planning for them. The question remains, was this a failure of man-made systems, or was it an act of nature that was simply beyond human control? Interestingly, just months before the flood, Dubai hosted the COP28 Climate Summit. This was a pivotal gathering where leaders of the world convened to discuss pressing climate issues and potential solutions. The summit's main focus was on reducing reliance on fossil fuels and establishing an international fund for climate adaptation. The world watched as discussions revolved around how we could shift away from the energy sources that have been driving our economies for centuries toward more sustainable alternatives. The leaders emphasized the importance of renewable energy, highlighting solar and wind power as key players in the transition. They also discussed the need for countries to work together to mitigate the effects of climate change, proposing the establishment of an international fund to aid those most vulnerable to the impacts. However, the summit was not without its critics. Many pointed out the irony of holding such an event in Dubai, a city in a country heavily reliant on oil and gas production. They argued that it sent mixed signals, raising questions about the sincerity of the commitment to reducing fossil fuel dependence. Others were critical of the slow progress in key areas such as climate finance, carbon markets, and addressing the influence of the fossil fuel industry on climate negotiations. They argued that more needed to be done, and faster, if we were to prevent the worst effects of climate change. Yet the COP28 summit, despite its shortcomings, was another step forward in the global fight against climate change. It demonstrated that countries are willing to come together to address this pressing issue, even if there is still much work to be done. The irony of the situation is not lost on us. A city that hosted a climate summit was now underwater. This serves as a stark reminder of the urgent need to address climate change and the devastating consequences if we fail to act. So, where do we go from here? What lessons can we learn from the Dubai flood disaster? These are questions we must ask ourselves as we grapple with the reality of our changing climate. In the aftermath of the Dubai flood, it's clear that we need to enhance our urban infrastructure to withstand extreme weather conditions. As we've seen, cities, even those as modern and developed as Dubai, can be brought to a standstill by unexpected weather events. We need to be proactive, not reactive. It's time we start designing our cities with climate resilience in mind. We must also improve our climate control measures. While technologies such as cloud seeding can provide much-needed rain to arid regions, they must be used responsibly and with a full understanding of their potential consequences. We can't afford to gamble with our environment. But perhaps the most crucial lesson from the Dubai flood is the importance of global cooperation in climate change mitigation. Climate change is a global problem that requires a global solution. No single country can tackle this issue alone. We need to come together, share our resources and knowledge, and work towards a common goal. The Dubai flood disaster serves as a stark reminder of our vulnerability to climate change and the urgent need for action. We have the tools to mitigate the worst effects of climate change, but we must act now before it's too late. Let's learn from our past mistakes and strive for a future where disasters like the Dubai flood become a thing of the past.